Y'all remember Super Mario Strikers and how great of a game it was and how great Mario sports game was back then in general? I do too. I'm pretty sure y'all remember, Super Mario Strikers Charge. Because as a kid, I played and loved those games. I played them constantly, and still to this day, I love those games, right? But I was thinking to myself recently, damn, what really happened to Mario sports games? More specifically for me, the Mario soccer games. And will we ever really get a trilogy for them? We did, actually. And my question got answered about a year ago with Mario Strikers Battle League. And honestly, I couldn't have been more hyped when this game was announced because we hadn't got a Mario soccer game in I think about like a decade and some years. I think it was like 13 years or something like that from the last time we had got a Mario Strikers game, which was Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii back in like 2007, I think. So when this game was announced, I was hyped as hell. But when I got it and I played it, I kid you not, I played this game for about 2-3 days and I never touched it again. Because everything that I thought this game would have as far as, the characters, how the characters act, the characteristics of the characters, say that 5 times fast. But just the way that the characters would act and like how much like flavor Nintendo would add to them in the other Strikers games, I just assumed that all of that would carry over to Battle League. Because, they weren't necessarily, gonna be like game of the year, but Mario Strikers was the epitome of a pick up and play party game that like you didn't have to think about anything. You just turned off your brain and just played this if you were me, for hours and hours on end. But none of that was in Mario Strikers Battle League. Like none of it. And like I said, I bought Mario Strikers Battle League not too long after release, and I haven't been that hyped for a Nintendo game in a while. But I bought this game and I played it. I even played online. I played a couple of I even played a couple of tournament modes for the single player and everything like that. But nothing in this game hit like it should have. Nothing in this game hit from the gameplay, from the way the game felt, looked. Everything just felt bland. Like everything just felt like it was kind of just like put together. It didn't really feel like Nintendo put too much effort into it compared to the other games. And don't get me wrong at all, I wanted to love these games. Even if it would have drove myself crazy trying to make myself like these games, I really wanted to love this game. But to my other basically depression, like this game just didn't have anything redeemable. It didn't have any play value after like a week or two, maybe a week or two. It didn't have none of the replay value of the other games. It didn't have none of the great music from the other games. Like Mario Strikers Charged unironically has my favorite soundtrack from any Mario sports games ever. Because every time I played it, I couldn't help but just look back at Mario Strikers Charged and Super Mario Strikers and just think of what this game really could have been. Because I hadn't played any of the other sports games on the Switch. I haven't played Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't play the Super Rush Golf or anything like that. But when I was playing Battle League, I couldn't help but think of the older titles from the other Mario soccer games. And think of how much better they were in like basically every other aspect. Now they weren't perfect games, but they didn't really need to be, because all you had to do was just cut your brain off and play the game for however long you wanted to. But just the way that the characters would act, like the personality that Nintendo would give every single character, even the goalies, like the personality that they would give them just was non-existent in Battle League. Like you didn't feel like the characters had any personality, even from the gear that they had. And I know that, and they have like a little feature where you can give them, like special gear to like upgrade their stats or anything like that. But it was just kind of just that, like it was just gear. Like it didn't really like fit the personality of the characters. The hyper strikes, that don't even get me started on the hyper strikes. Comparing the hyper strikes to the mega strikes in Super Mario Strikers Charged to Battle League is like night and day. But I'm rambling. Let me just get back to like the characters' personalities. And like, I know you're probably wondering like, oh, it's just a soccer game. Like how much personality can they really show? But even down to like the losing and winning animations. In Strikers Charged, they had so much personality and creativity compared to Battle League. It just kind of seemed like the game was lifeless. And again, I might sound crazy when I say this, but it's like Battle League just didn't give them any type of personality, and like the game just didn't feel like it had any personality to it. It felt like I was playing like a Nintendo version of FIFA with like, you know, Mario Kart items. It didn't add any flair to it, because if you compare the losing animations from Battle League to Striker's Charge, it's night and fucking day. In Battle League, they'll get a goal scored on them, it'll just be like, you know, whatever. But in Mario Striker Charge, you score a goal on Wario, he fucking blows himself up.
I give up.
And just comparing those losing animations from Mario Strikers Charge to Battle League, it just doesn't feel the same at all. Like there isn't that much emotion, there isn't that much personality. They kind of just like stand there and just be like, oh, you know, I got a goal scored on me. Like it just doesn't have any type of personality to make the character stand out, to make you want to pick them when you play the game. Because in Battle League, it really doesn't matter who you pick, like, to be honest with you, because they all kind of play the same. Because to be honest, when I was playing the game, whenever I pick a character, especially if you have gear for them, you can just upgrade them to basically play the exact same. And I don't know if this was like a design choice to, like, you know, make even the art style different from the other sequels, but like just even looking at the art style from like their gear and the way that like the game is played, it's completely different from Strikers and from Strikers Charge and from Strikers. Because if you played Strikers and Strikers Charge, it felt like you had a lot of freedom to kind of like do what you want to do with the ball. Like you could do a lot of things differently with the ball, especially in Strikers Charge, where I don't know if any of y'all have seen like old videos of people playing Strikers Charge online. It looked like it was an open world like soccer game. It didn't look like it was just, you know, like it didn't look like Battle League where it was kind of like this side to side just front and back soccer game. In Strikers Charge, they were fucking bouncing the ball off the electric fence to like score a goal and like basically like passing it to themselves to like score goals and shit. In Battle League, you just kind of just run with the ball and kick it. Like that's really all you can do. Like there's like it doesn't feel free at all. It feels like you're on rails for a lot of the time, because the movement in the game feels nerfed, and I don't know why. Because if you play Strikers Charge, I know I'm focusing on that a lot, but Strikers Charge really made playing every character feel completely different. Because playing Mario versus playing Wario is two completely different things. Like Wario moves slower, he dribbles the ball different, he shoots different. Playing, you know, Wario as opposed to playing Luigi or Peach, they all felt completely different. It wasn't just minor changes, it was major changes in the way that they played, run, everything. Even the sidekicks felt completely different because their stats actually like reflected the type of character that they was. If you picked Hammer Bro in Strikers Charge and like Koopa, they played completely differently. Hammer Bro was slow, but he was a good passer. The Koopa was more all around, and Boo was kind of like, you know, the technique tricky character, like he could like phase through people to like get a speed boost to get up the field and shit like that. But in Battle League, they kind of take all that away. Like they take like a little bit of the strategy of the game away and just kind of make everybody else the same. Like they make the captain feel the same, they make the sidekicks feel the same. Like, and they take away like the whole aspect of actually picking a sidekick. They take all that strategy away in Battle League. Because in Strikers Charge, you couldn't pick Mario for a sidekick. You couldn't pick Wario for a sidekick. You had captains and you had sidekicks. And it actually mattered which sidekicks you picked for your team. It wasn't just, I'm just pick 3 random people and just put 3 random people on the team with their gear and then it'll be fine. It was like, no, like you have to actually pay attention to the people that you pick on your team, because that's how your team will play. If you pick more of an offensive team with 3 Hammer Bros, then that's how your team is gonna play. The Hammer Bros are gonna be slow as fuck and can't get up the field all the time, but they're great shooters and passers. If you pick 3 Monty Mo's, like they're slow as fuck, but they have a great shot. In Battle League, none of that is there and it's all gone. The strategy of picking sidekicks is gone. Everything just disappeared in Battle League, and it didn't feel like a soccer game. Because the movement again in Battle League felt so restrictive, and it didn't feel like you really could do much outside of just running up the field, kicking the ball, and maybe passing the ball every now and again, or like tackling people. And like I didn't like how they kind of like nerfed the movement in Battle League from Strikers Charge. But getting on to the thing that I think is like the most egregious about Battle League is the fucking hyper strikes. Comparing comparing the Hyper Strikes to the Mega Strikes and Strikers Charge is again night and fucking day, because the Hyper Strikes in Battle League are literally like the same animation just with different characters, because every Hyper Strike in Battle League is they get the ball, they charge it up, and they do the little kick animation for the ball and little fire lights in their eyes for literally every character, and then you proceed to see the most basic animation for like each character. Like Mario has the basic fire, Hyper Strike. Luigi has a basic tornado. Bowser has a basic ass fireball. Like, it's the most basic shit that you could think of, and it just doesn't compare to the Mega Strikes and Strikers Charge, or even the Super Strikes from Super Mario Strikers, the original on the GameCube. It just doesn't compare. And even if you think about it in a way, Super Mario Strikers and Battle League are both basic in like terms of like, the Hyper Strikes versus the Super Strikes and things like that. But if you play them, it feels like you're playing two completely different games. They do not feel the same. They don't play the same. They don't act the same. Like, nothing feels the same. Strikers and Strikers Charge feels like more of a complete soccer game, whilst Battle League feels like a fucking mobile game because of how limited you are and what you're able to do. All of the animations feel stiff and kind of clunky, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Now, I know this next thing might be like a little bit silly about how passionate I am about it, but I don't remember a single fucking song from Mario Strikers Battle League. I don't remember a single field soundtrack. I don't remember anything from that fucking OST. I don't remember a thing about it. But to bring up Mario Strikers Charged again, the soundtrack in Mario Strikers Charged alone it's so much better than Battle League. And they even added soccer chants when you get a power up in Strikers Charged, like in actual IRL soccer. They added chants when your captain gets his fucking power up. But like, even just from Strikers Charged, right, the classroom song from that stage in Mario Strikers Charged is still one of my favorite songs from that game. I could listen to that entire OST just randomly throughout the day. I don't remember a single song from Battle League. I really don't. And it's like, I'm kind of sad because now I don't really play Nintendo games. I really don't. Outside of Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, I really don't play Nintendo games like that because they just don't interest me all that much. But the fact that they decided to finally bring back Mario Strikers just to give us kind of like this half-ass effort really irks my fucking nerves. I watched videos about Tennis Aces and even Mario Golf Super Rush. Just comparing those games to Battle League, they look 10 times better than Mario Strikers Battle League. Like, I can't really comment on Tennis Aces or Golf Super Rush, but like, just seeing how they look and play, especially Tennis Aces seems like twice of a game that Battle League is. It seems like the game that Battle League should have been. Like, Battle League should have been the best of Super Mario Strikers and the best of Super Mario Strikers Charged just mixed together, and you would have had like the best newer like Mario sports game. But they did not do that. They didn't fucking do it.